Hello, friends, and welcome to Just a Couple of Guys with your host, Pat Crimmins, and yours truly, Ray Rogina, now in our second year. Our motto, as you know, is we talk everything. And today we are pleased to talk about an organization created in memory of a fine young adult here in the Fox Valley, Kevin White. We will talk with Tim Ward, the president of the Kevin White Foundation. That conversation comes next after this word from one of our fine sponsors. Stay tuned. Hello, friends. This is Ray Rogina. Hey, the Kane County Cougars are back for the summer. The best family entertainment around features sunshine, baseball, and fireworks through Labor Day. With great food, entertainment, giveaways, and running the bases after every game, there's something for everyone at a Cougars game. And Thirsty Thursdays feature $2 beer, pop, and hot dogs. And on Sunday, a $15 ticket gets you $15 right back in concession cash to spend at the ballpark. What a deal for you baseball foodies. Come visit us at beautiful Northwestern Medicine Field this summer for your dose of sunshine, baseball, and fireworks. And make your family memories today.
At McNally Heating and Cooling, we understand that customer satisfaction starts with arriving at your home on time. Your service technician will apply the same attention to detail and quality workmanship to every job, large or small. We offer upfront, honest pricing, and we'll make sure the job gets done right from start to finish. From furnace and air conditioning service, minor repairs, or total equipment replacement, we do it all. Give us a call or find us online and let the luck of the Irish work for you.
We are back, and as an introduction, I'd like to say that at the age of 19 years of age, Kevin White was fatally injured due to a car collision in his hometown of St. Charles, Illinois. The tragic crash prompted an outpouring of support from the community and caught the attention of the local news media. But Kevin was much more than a news headline. He was a St. Charles North graduate, a standout varsity baseball player, an infielder, and a pitcher. Most importantly, he was a teammate, a friend, and an all-around compassionate person. Kevin was known as the glue guy, bringing people together in the dugout day by day. His legacy continues with the Kevin White Foundation. And Pat, why don't you introduce our guest?
Yeah, hi. We're pleased to have the president of the Kevin White Foundation here with us today, Tim Ward. Tim, thanks very much for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
We appreciate it. Now, we were wondering if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the Kevin White Foundation.
Yeah, no. So I'm a local business owner in St. Charles. Have been for the last 15, 20 years.
Tim, let me stop you there, Tim. What business is that?
So I own a few businesses. I own 3 businesses. One is Total Technology Solutions Group. That's a copier and printer company nationwide. I have a company called GSD Technologies, which is an IT infrastructure company that we build infrastructures for company nationwide. And then I also have a company called 2020 Design. And 2020 Design is a marketing company that does digital design, website design. And if you've gone on kevinwhitefoundation.org, that's some of our work that we've kind of put together in a short amount of time. And so those are the 3 businesses that I have. TTSG is headquartered out of Hanover Park, and the rest of them are here on Dean Street, right next to La Vida Cigars, or right next to Best Vac, or
Sure.
the old Diamond Mart that was on the corner of Dean and Randall.
Sure. Well, obviously you're successful in your own right, but so tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the Kevin White Foundation, how you know Kevin, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so it goes back quite a bit. It goes back to when Kevin was 13 years old. I had an interim CFO at the time, Paul Jones. Paul Jones was a baseball coach for Travel Baseball for 27 years. and he was my interim CFO. So when I was talking with Paul, and this would happen over the fall and into the winter, I'd want to be taking clients out to hockey games, travel, play golf in the warm weather. And he's like, I can't, I've got to coach these 13, 14-year-olds for travel for baseball. I said, Coach, it's like 10, 11 games. I mean, what are you talking about? It's baseball. It's, he goes, no, you don't get it. We play 70 games out at the East Side Sports Complex and all this travel and everything else. Now I'm a hockey guy. So I grew up playing hockey and everything else. So I said, you're kidding me. I said, it's like, and this was winter after winter. So finally, after like the third or fourth winter, he said, well, why don't you come check it out? We're over at Brad Saltzman's off of Dean Street. And he's got this little gym. It's got the Rutgers basketball court. It's got pitching machines and batting cages and everything else. So I go there. It's a bunch of 13 to 14-year-old kids, little rugrats, they're running around, and Paul's trying to coach them and everything else. And I knew that he needed help. So I partook for the day. It was like on a Tuesday, and he goes, well, we're back at it Thursday and Saturday. And I said, oh, I'll check it out Thursday. I said, but don't think this isn't going to be a long-term thing. I'm going to come when I want to come, help out when I want to help out. Well, from the time that Kevin was 13, 14 years old, all the way up till he was tragically injured in that car accident on Randall and Redgate, we formed a relationship, more of like a brother type relationship. We went through, 280, 320 games together. We played 60, 70 games through fall bat, wood bat class, tournaments, Indiana. We went to the Cal Ripken tournament and won that. The Cal Ripken tournament in Myrtle Beach, which was unbelievable. Teams all throughout the country came, international teams, Cuba, Venezuela. So we won that tournament, and that's ultimately what brought these kids from East Side. So when people look at this, right, and you look at it, it's like St. Charles kid has passed. Kevin's passed. He's died in a tragic car accident, and he went to North High School. So it's like you think that this is an outpour from North High. This is an outpour from St. Charles. Doesn't matter if you go to St. Charles East or if you went to North. Kevin played for the East, for St. Charles Travel Baseball, which had kids from East. You had the Kyle Hayes. You had the Kevin White. You had Ethan White. You had Braden Rude. You had Nate Hayes, who's now gone to Dakota State for football. But Kyle Hayes, Division III, and now he's getting teams are looking at him all throughout the MLB. So you had these caliber of kids playing from 13 years old, from when I got into coaching with Paul Jones, all the way through to freshmen, when all of them made varsity, right? As a freshman,
Yeah.
So we knew we had a special group of kids at 13, 14 years old. And then to really go into those summers and really have 50, we'd have, 56 and 4 seasons. We'd have 71 and 12 seasons. I mean, we would have these winning percentage seasons, and it was like, we were unstoppable. I mean, there was a few, and then you had Kyle Hayes hitting 320-foot home runs, at, Benedict, 340 feet at Benedictine. And you had Kevin turning double play. Anytime Kevin could turn a double play, he would turn a double play. He was an infield, good pitcher. So with all these kids that came together and you had this bond, that's how I really got involved in the whole travel baseball scenario, in the circuit, really coaching for 5 years from the ages of 13 all the way up until 18, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah. It sounds like they weren't doing very well until you started coaching, though. Is that right?
Well, I told Coach Jones that all the time. I said, the reason we won Myrtle Beach is basically because of me,
Right.
and it took him 21 years to get there. It took me, we won it in 2. So, I mean,
That's
I don't
right.
know.
That's right. It's always about the coaching. Obviously, Kevin, we didn't know Kevin. I didn't know Kevin, but you did. And he's a special kid, obviously, at least in your opinion. Tell us a little bit about him beyond the baseball and the sports that kind of prompted the development of the foundation.
So Kevin, like I said, we coached, but Kevin would need rides to games. at the time I wasn't married, still not married, but I have a fiance. But I wasn't married and I didn't have kids. And so the parents would call and say, hey, can you drive, Kevin, or you want to pick him up or do this and do that. And I formed a relationship with Kevin, probably 15, 16, right before he got his driver's license. And was taking him to games and picking him up for practice, dropping him off. And I just knew he was someone special. He was the guy in the dugout that didn't have the emotional connection to each individual play, but he brought the teammates together, even if they, even if things weren't going our way, right? So him being the glue guy it's just an amazing statement itself. He was the guy that kept the team together, rallied throughout the game in the dugout, and made things happen. Kevin came to work at TTSG the summer before he died. He worked at Total Technology Solutions Group out in Hanover Park. We have a 30,000 square foot facility in Hanover Park. He worked all summer. I also have property in Wayne, and he'd come over and do a lot of work on the property. So, and then we'd get lunch and, all throughout. Then it was a week, and we played a ton of golf together. So I'd take the kids all, different ones of the kids going golf in St. Charles Country Club or Royal Fox. So it was always something going on with that team of 13 and 14-year-old boys.
Yeah.
That were slowly becoming men that were then going to college. And then to this day, we talk. I just got off the phone with George Litkin. I was, Braden Rude, these kids that were on the team that now have a more of a significant impact of losing a player and losing a close friend. So it was more of an on and off the field relationship. And I had 40, 50 people at the company in Hanover Park, and he worked with us for 90 days, and then he'd come in the fall and everything else. So Kevin was always he's as good of a kid as you could come across. I mean, it's tragic. I mean, there's two cars on a road, one's headed northbound and one's headed southbound, and somebody gets confused by those blinking yellow lights. And it's just like that. It happens just like that. It's just, I mean, you can't say it's this without the other, right? You just, as far as I know, coming back from working out, his entire family was in at the house, which was less than a mile away. They were all going to pool up to Wisconsin to build a patio and a deck for the summer home. And that never took place. It was, it took place at Randall and Silver Glen on the northeast side of the road where that Pace bus stop is. So when that took place, I believe it was a Tuesday, and I was out. It was a Tuesday. I was out in Huntley, Illinois. My parents live in Sun City, so they have a little bingo night on Tuesday that I randomly will show up at. And Brittany, my fiance, and I went out to there that night, and I got a call from Coach Jones shortly after I got there. It's at the VFW in Huntley. I got there shortly after, and he said, "You got to come to Delnor. Kevin's been in an accident." And I didn't even. I took the call outside because there was music and everything else playing and stuff. I didn't even go back in to tell my family I left, and I drove to Delnor. And it was shortly thereafter that he didn't make it. Yeah. So
Right.
So the tragedy takes place and the proper period of mourning takes place, and now we're here, and we're obviously people like yourself and others started to discuss this idea of a foundation. So what I'd like you to do is take us through a little bit through that, and
absolutely.
talk about the objectives of
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I get off on top, there's so much that has taken place since August of last year. It seems like it's so long ago. For me, it seems like it's so long ago. But it hasn't even been a year. So we started meeting in September. So let me rewind a little bit. Kevin gets in an accident. the kids are notified from the baseball team. Some of them start traveling from their colleges and start coming home, right? So
Where was Kevin going to school at this point in time, if I may?
so Kevin was going to community school. He's going to be picked up for D3 baseball.
All right.
So it was a tweener. He was in
Got it.
between. He was
Right.
going to be going to D3 second semester, or his sophomore year, he was going to be picking up to go to a D3 school.
All right.
So some of the kids from the team, all the teams, I mean, from both East and North started to come back in that following Thursday, Friday. And I had a bonfire at my home with put out a text thread with all the kids. All the kids come on over. There's plenty. We had pizza and bonfire. Some of the coaches, Kevin's brother, his nephew, they all came over. So as we were sitting there, we said, well, we have to do something. We have to think about this. We have to get through this time right now. But let's not forget that we have to get through this time right now. We have to grieve. But on the other side of the grieving process is we have to make sure that his legacy continues on. And Josh Beeman, who was on the team, also played for East, and Kevin were good friends. And he said, well, we should do a golf event. And I was thinking, yeah, let's do it. Let's do a golf event, and let's get Bud and Elena, who are Kevin's parents. Let's get them through this process. And what I'm seeing, get through this process, like get through the weekend, right? Like, and then let's try and talk to them maybe a month or a month and a half after. Well, Elaine and I, who is Kevin's mother, numerous conversations all the way up, was at her house and Bud's numerous times. I said, Elaine, I just want to tell you, I said, the kids are going to be interested in doing something and forming something, maybe a golf event of some sort or a foundation. So I came back and I told the marketing team at the company, I said, you know what, let's go grab Kevin White, or let's go grab kevinwhitefoundation.org. Let's get a couple other domains, and let's just put it on the shelf. Well, in September, we started to get together, early October, and we started to meet at Dean Street. And it was a couple people who come in on the first and the third Monday of the month. So we started getting more and more people coming in. And at that point, Coach Jones, who's an accountant in town and runs an accounting firm, said at this point, this is a foundation. This is the Kevin White Foundation, and we have to get a board. This is getting bigger than what we anticipated this to become, right? So I get elected to be the president of the board. We do a whole entire process of who's going to be on the board with Jen Roethlisberger, and Elena and Bud and Paul Jones and myself. And I said, well, you know what? Kevin loved to golf. I said, why don't we just do this golf event? And why don't we do it for, let's pick a date. And a couple of dates went through, and it was, let's do July 10th. Let's do a July 10th golf event. And now my companies do a lot of golf events. We do a lot of 501c3 nonprofits. We do a lot of the golf events for the nonprofits. We hold a golf event. Some of their other clients and customers hold the golf events. So I've been through, 20, 30, 40, 50 of these golf events. And plus with the Golf Give Gala with Michael Phelps and Jason Day that Rowena from AEI has put on, I've seen what kind of draw this can do, right? So we made the website, we put up the July 10th date. And then we started going around and asking the support from local vendors, businesses in St. Charles, customers of mine, and anyone else is on the board. And it's taken off. The news media that we've gotten from Shaw Media, Daily Herald, Kane County Chronicle, the Fox, forgive me if I can't remember them all. There's 2 or 3 more of them. Jake Barlston from, I believe, the Chronicle that reports on St. Charles sports. Right. It's just all, there's 25, 30 people in the meetings now. We're doing it now every week. We've raised, I think the number that we just came up with yesterday, was $138,000.
All right, so you grow this foundation and you're growing the numbers and you're going to get more donations. We'll talk about that in a minute. So again, the objectives then, what in raising this money, what is that going to go in his memory? What is that going to go for?
Yeah, so Kevin, the love of baseball. So that's all he did. I mean, Kevin just wanted to play. He just went through life to play the game of baseball. Getting into a D3 school, you know, not going Division I, not going Division II, you know, going Division III, but having the love of the game, right? Having the greatest attitude on the field, being a teammate, and just having that love of the game. We're going to be giving out now scholarships to D3 kids that come from the Fox Valley area. So for St. Charles, I'm sorry, for St. Charles from 303, District 303. So with that being said, it's a $10,000 a year scholarship for a total of $40,000 for the kid that goes to play D3 baseball.
So it'll be one student a year playing D3 ball, and they're going to earn a scholarship worth $40,000.
Yeah, $10,000 a year, and it's not going to be one, Ray. At this point right now, we haven't even done the kickoff. We haven't even filled the golf event. We're at $130,000. So we're going to raise, I mean, I'm a numbers guy. I think that Paul's a numbers guy. I like to say these numbers that are like here, and Paul likes to cut me down to like where they're here. So I say what, you know, he's the accountant. That's his profession. I say we're going to do $250,000 to $300,000 worth of money for this Kevin White Foundation. Paul will tell you 250 on the nose, and we're going to grow this year after year after year. You know, Randall Road is already renamed in the Kevin White Foundation. If you look on the side of the road going southbound and northbound, it's been donated to the Kevin White Foundation. There are businesses, if you go and you kind of walk down Main Street, you'll see blue signs that have the Kevin White official sponsor of the Kevin White organization, KevinWhiteFoundation.org. There are probably 50 or 60 businesses that have already donated $500 just in St. Charles alone. Big ticket sponsorships from sponsors that want to be unanimous and or for corporate sponsorships have given $15,000, $20,000.
Wow.
And we'll continue to do that throughout the years. But this is for kids from 303 that play baseball, that go and get selected to play D3 baseball. And there's criteria behind this, because there's a multitude of kids that are going to play D3 baseball. And there's a criteria.
Some committee go through the criteria.
Yes.
And those who apply, and then
Yes.
go from there, and there'll be a selection made as to who wins the scholarship.
Yes, correct. There's going to be a Kevin White Foundation board for scholarship board. And then those people have to do, those kids are going to have to come and do in-person interviews. They're going to have to write these stuff. We're going to have to talk to the coaches. The coaches are going to come in and do interviews. We're going to have to really vet these scholarships out. I mean, when you go and you ask the kids from East and from North, you go and ask these kids of what that list of scholarship looks like. I had asked a student at North, and he's like, they're giving like $3,000 to $5,000 away for this. If you apply for this, if you meet this criteria, we're giving $10,000 away per year, as long as that child is enrolled at that school and plays baseball and stays in the baseball program.
Right. Now, before I go back to Pat, and he's going to talk about some of the other ways to raise money, let's talk about that golf outing one more time. That's set for July 10th this year?
Oh, yeah. So July 10th this year, it's going to be at Royal Fox Country Club. We have 36 foursomes. Right now, we have 22 foursomes already taken. We haven't even gone out to solicit any of these yet. 22 foursomes are already taken, 36 total, 144 golfers. And then 156 dinner tickets in addition to the 144 golfers to make up 300 people at Royal Fox. We're going to have entertainment, live music. We're going to have businesses, over 40, 50 volunteers, the valet parking, the registration. We have entertainment as far as a painter is concerned. We have an auctioneer. We have homes that people are giving away, their own personal homes in Arizona, Colorado, Texas, Florida. Brian Bickle from the Chicago Blackhawks is giving away his
Wow.
3 cabins that he owns in Ontario, Canada, and to fish with Brian Bickle, a 3-time Stanley Cup player, that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
and so that goes off to the highest bidder. We've gotten Cubs support, we've gotten Sox support with tickets and boxes.
This is all part of the fundraiser too. That's what you're saying. Part of the golf outing.
Oh, this is all part of the golf outing. This is
All right,
going to
right,
be
all
the
right.
spectacular event that hopefully brings in money. We've got a helicopter flying in to drop balls for, closest to the pin. We've got a 50-50 raffle. We've got companies that want to take an entire hole and they're going to do their own dunk tanks and video games and, all that kind of stuff.
If somebody who's interested in participating, they can go to the website, because I was there earlier, and you have a spot on there for the golf out.
Oh yeah, you go to the website will redirect you. It's Eventbrite,
All right.
eventbrite.org. You can go to kevinwhitefoundation.org. It'll shoot you right back over. You can sign up. Now, this is something that's, it's $1,600 for a foursome, right? So it's $400, but it's at a private club. It's great food. You're having lunch and drinks and so on and so forth. And this 100% of this goes to the Kevin White Foundation, 100%. So it's listed as a 501c3. We have so this is Ray, you asked, this is the golf event on May 10th. This is,
July 10th.
Yes, on July 10th. On July 10th, this is the golf event that there's going to be news coverage and sports players there, and everyone. If you're somebody in St. Charles, you want to be at this golf event.
Pat,
Just a couple of guys invited.
Yeah, just a couple of guys. We've gotten this outpour of community from the businesses in St. Charles. Just go down Main Street, you'll start seeing these little blue, they're like 11 by 17 pieces of paper vertical, right? And it's the Kevin White Foundation, and then its official sponsor, Smitty's, Ron Onesti, you got Kurt Hurst, you got the Graceful Ordinary, you've got Zaza's, you've got Joe Salas from the Hotel Baker, you've got Baby Boutique on First Avenue, you've got Cute Top and Jeans. You've got every business that's any business sees what we're doing, and it's like $500. And then what the $500 gets them is a bunch of these signs that you post down all the fairways, and it's just all this marketing. Then it gets us on the website, and then on the website it scrolls through all the sponsorships and everything else. You've got some big players that are in St. Charles that are giving $10, $15, $20, $25,000 sponsorship. You can't even fathom like, hey, you want to get a golf event together? Yeah, let's get the kids and the dads and let's go play. This is so far, not a single person from the organization is going to be able to play in the foundation. We're going to have 24 extra golf carts, 2 people to a golf cart, 4 people to a golf cart to drive around, take pictures with the mom and dad, the brothers and the little cousins and the nephews. We're going to have videography, drone footage. We're going to have photography. We're going to make a movie. We're going to have, it's going to be everything. So it's, you'd have to be there in order to, in order to understand the realm of, what we're looking at doing.
It sounds fantastic. Now, outside of the golf outing, do you see any other events coming up or?
Yes, we do. So, St. Charles East and St. Charles North have stepped up tremendously. Both Coach Sweeney and Genki. Todd Genke for North has been unbelievable. We Coach Jones and myself from the travel baseball league went that we both retired though. We don't do this anymore. We both went and talked to East, and Coach Sweeney had us come in. He introduced us. We talked, I don't know, 100, 150 kids and parents together, introduced the foundation, passed out 3 trifold brochures, told them about the event. People went on and started donating right off the bat. And East has been just an unbelievable advocate for us for this event, right? For the golf event. So then we started talking to both coaches, Coach Sweeney and also Genke, Todd Genke. Started talking. We said, well, you know, Todd, why don't we retire Kevin White's jersey? And he said, well, you know, let me think about it. Let's figure this out. And Todd got in front of that same day. We went and talked at 10 o'clock in the morning to East and the parents over there. And then we took a short little break. And then Coach Jones and I headed over to North to talk with Todd and his coaches, and then the parents and the students and the players over at North. So Todd took the microphone and he said, I want to let you guys know and everything else about the season. He gave them all the information about the season. And then he wanted to say that, well, we got a couple other remarks that we want to make. And, you know, with the unfortunate incident that took place of the tragedy and the tragic death of Kevin White, tearfully and very upset. He was able to get out that no one will ever be able to wear the number 20 like Kevin White ever did. And no one will wear the number 20 from here on out. So we are going to be retiring Kevin White's jersey from North on May 6th at the 10 o'clock game. On May 6th at 10 o'clock, Kevin White's jersey will be retired. And every single player on the field from both East and North will be wearing the number 20 in remembrance of Kevin White, which is just unbelievable.
Very nice.
That is nice. Yeah. Maybe you can get the Cougars to sponsor a East-North game in Kevin's honor and take some ticket.
Hey, listen, we can use all the help. All the help that we can get, we can use it. And if anyone has any contacts with the Kane County Cougars and that type of and that organization, anything that can help out the Kevin White Foundation, we'll take.
Sure.
And we'll try and do and run with it as much as we can. But May 6th, that Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, we're going to have the foundation's going to be there. We're the Cubs and the Sox, like I said. Go ahead, Rick.
We're at North or
so this is at North. Okay.
Right.
So there's a doubleheader, and the day before on Friday they play at East.
All right, very good.
And then they play at North. So with that being said, May 6th at 10 o'clock, we're going to have the foundation it's going to be there. You're going to see it. It's the Kevin White Foundation. It's under a tent. We've got black tents and white tents that you'll be sporadically placed throughout the fields at St. Charles North. And then so May 6th, and then the retirement of his jersey. And we're going to be giving away Cubs tickets and Sox tickets. The mayor of St. Charles will be there. Laura Viteg will be there. We'll have, I believe, Ron Onesti will be in attendance. There's, quite a few people that are going to be coming out to that. And then, of course, pretty much all of, St. Charles East baseball and St. Charles North baseball will be there. But we also have shirts that are made. We have now signs that people are going to put in the front yard for $20. You get a sign and it's, sponsoring, the Kevin White foundation.org. So you can put them in as, you put those signs in, or $25 for those. But we'll have a bunch of that. And then we're going to have a cookout. And then it's going to be, it's a great things that St. Charles does. I mean, it's just another event, right? Another
fantastic.
event.
It's fantastic, Tim. You should be proud of yourself for getting this together.
Yeah, everyone's come together. I mean, with all of the reach, everyone reach, oh, I know so-and-so, I could get this, and, blah, 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 and so-and-so. And then, even with this podcast that we're doing right now, I mean, this is going to reach hundreds and hundreds of people, and this is going to be fantastic.
Don't sell us short, Tim. Thousands.
I mean, this is hundreds of thousands of people.
That's
Hundreds of thousands. Okay, this
That's
is
right.
nationwide.
Soon to be hundreds of thousands.
To be hundreds of thousands of people. Because
Why don't you give us your website again? You can donate right through the site, right, Tim?
Yeah, so you can donate right through the site. You can go right to kevinwhitefoundation.org and get right on the site and go from there. You can also show up on May 6th. You can also go right to Eventbrite website and check out St. Charles and look up the Kevin White Foundation up there. We're just asking that everyone in the Fox Valley area, from St. Charles to Geneva to Batavia, that we get this together, and we bring everyone close for the community. 2 weeks, I believe the last weekend in June, we're going to have Kevin White's jersey hung from just like the Christmas trees are hung.
Oh, nice.
In St. Charles, we're going to have the Kevin White jersey hung from every other flagpole or from every other light pole, all the way down Main Street.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Right. It's the St. Charles we all know, but it's good to see everybody pulling together, whether you're east or whether you're north. I like the idea of One St. Charles, and they never disappoint.
No, it's a great community to be a part of. I think that the programs and the Park District is coming up huge. The Park District we're going to be donating, renaming Field 6 at the East Sports Complex to Kevin, and renaming that to be Kevin White Field. We've got some things that are going on that are being put in print. There's other interviews that I have going on this week with some of the news outlets. WGN is going to be on May 6th. These news outlets, in this media, they all heard the accident, they were all there.
Right.
So when they're all there, now they want to know the follow-up to all of this. And out of such tragedy, how can such good come from something that was so tragic?
Right.
And it's just really the community coming together and really putting their best foot forward and getting something like this off the ground is remarkable. It's amazing.
I mean, it's unfortunate that a tragedy has to stir up this kind of passion, but it's good to see. And it's the community should be proud of itself. There's no doubt.
Tim, we appreciate you coming on board here today on Just a Couple of Guys, and your eloquence in describing just about everything we need to know about the Kevin White Foundation has certainly accented this interview today. Let me ask one question, because I know I went to a website via kevin20white.org. Am I correct on that? That's another alternative.
Yeah,
website?
so that is another alternative. So we've got kevin20white.org. We've got I just call it the Kevin White Foundation.org.
Well, they'll be able to get there. I think we've made that very clear. I think
oh yeah,
given people an option, and the website is beautiful. You did a great job on that. And what it does is it gives people options about donations, golf outing, and answering questions. So on behalf of Pat and Paul, our producer, thanks a bunch for coming on. You've been and thanks for the wonderful, as Pat said, the wonderful contribution you have made pro bono. That's what makes this community go. People helping other people and helping people's memories. That's important here. And you've been a stand-up guy for a long time, so really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys and Ray, the service that you've done for St. Charles for so long, and the conversations that you and I have had as a business owner in St. Charles. I'll remember those. And Pat, I appreciate having me on the show. I'd like to have a follow-up with you guys after the July 10th event to kind of show, and I'll send you guys some of the videos, but I think it'd be really good to get the final number, and then with how many scholarships that we will be able to provide to St. Charles for the upcoming years through the baseball program.
Sure.
Will do. All right. Thanks
Awesome.
again, Tim. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with a little bit of a summation. Stay tuned. Hello, friends. This is Ray Rogina. You face technology challenges every day that threaten to steal business, compromise data, and bring your business down. Without a good partner to help protect from phishing, ransomware, viruses, data breaches, employee turnover, and cybersecurity threats, your business is at risk of losing everything. TechWorks has been the trusted IT partner to Fox Valley businesses for over 20 years, keeping systems secure and providing extraordinary customer service, helping your business grow. Call TechWorks today at 630-482-2227 or visit www.techworks.com. That's TechWorks with a Q. TEQ works, and see how TechWorks IT service can transform and secure your business. Hello, friends. This is Ray Rogina. I'd like to say a few words about my friends at the Karis Group of Restaurants, one of our sponsors. I've been a frequent guest at all of their fine restaurants for years, one of which is Rookies, which has locations throughout the Fox Valley and beyond. My favorite dish at Rookies is the gyros plate with the Saganaki appetizer. Oopa! My wife, she loves the Hall of Fame chicken sandwich. But I can honestly say that I've never had a bad meal there, regardless of whatever I've had to eat. The wings are out of this world, the salads are delicious, great burgers, tacos, all American specialties, and don't forget their pizza. And of course, you can wash this all down with one of their famous Mai Tais. Try them out. St. Charles, Geneva, Elgin, Hoffman Estates, Huntley, and Roselle. RookiesPub.com. I'll see you there. We're back, and just to summarize this interview with our friend here, Mr. Tim Ward, Pat, what did you glean out of all this? I mean,
Well, I tell you, as always, St. Charles continues to impress. The way the community has come together to help out the family and the legacy of Kevin White. I think it's very impressive. And guys like Tim Ward and his passion for this, that's what makes a difference in any community. And if we had 1,000 Tim Wards, there's no telling where we'd be,
Well said. And I want to point one more thing out. And I know that I saw you stick your finger up at one point, and I know what you were trying to say there. And you've said this before. It's really great to see the two high schools. And sometimes you talk about rivalries in sports and stuff like that. But here, it comes down to one St. Charles, like you said all along. It's
right.
not north and east. It's one St. Charles doing what's right in a situation like this.
That's right. We try and stress that in mock trial. We try and stress that as much as I can. Is this town is a collective unit, and we have reason to be proud of all of it. And it shouldn't be divided by sports or buildings, right?
All right, so we were invited to the golf outing on July 10th. We're going to see what we can do about that, perhaps. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, and a lot of people doing a lot of things and winning a lot of prizes and making donations. And then on that website, which we'll repeat in a second, you can make a donation to the Kevin White Foundation. And then that website itself is Kevin20white.org. Or as Tim said, you can Google Kevin White Foundation and probably get to the same site. This guy's a techie, so the site is really well done.
It's well done. Yes, it is.
All right. So in wrapping up our podcast today, I thank our producer, Paul Stukel, and my partner, Pat Crimmins, for helping shape this podcast today, hoping you found it worthwhile. And as such, will support the Kevin White Foundation. It will get warm again. You'll be able to escape into the Fox Valley and all that it offers. So as always, be safe. We'll see you soon. So long.